Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to PWF Empire. We are here in podcast form to review WWE's latest pay-per-view offer for the Raw brand. This was Roadblock, End of the Line. I am Jay, and tonight you guys have Dalton and Mr. DJ Cass to review the show for you guys. How are you guys doing? I guess that was an answer.
Is that your answer, Cass? You're doing hysterical laughter. I'm taking it you didn't like this pay-per-view very much. Okay, all right.
Maybe
Cass
we'll get some, explanation as to what all of this means.
Cass must be on some other shit right now.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get the night started off the way that WWE got the show started. I guess Rusev versus Big Cass, that was the pre-show match.
Gee, don't sound so confident about it, Jay. I gotta be honest with you. I up this match. Wasn't by design. It's just the long-standing philosophy is that if the match happens on a pre-show, it doesn't actually happen. So I can't really say much about it. I know it was there. I do have to say, though, I'm not really sure what it did for Cass. I know Rusev did go over with a cheating to win victory, which is fine for Rusev, but I'm not sure what it does for Cass because he was still the same old reading a paragraph in front of the class, delivering in his pre-match promo. So it was there. I can't really give a solid opinion. It was there.
Hey, Cass, did you have to watch this one?
Nobody fucking gets over. There you go.
Okay, well, let's see if we can find some luck elsewhere. This was the actual opening contest of the night. It was Cesaro and Sheamus versus The New Day for the tag team titles. And it turns out the very first match that The New Day has after they beat the record for the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history, they lose. And we have new tag team champions here in Cesaro and Sheamus.
Finally, the nightmare ends. Fucking thank. Finally, we have new tag team champions on this damn roster. We can finally get some damn movie. Holy shit! Thank goodness that finally happened. Fuck this shit. I'm so happy. I'm so glad.
Man, all I can say, Cass, is I really hope you make it to WrestleMania with us. Because if this is anything close to the reaction you would give to a match we see there, that'll just be great to see in person. Because, Lord, Jay can speak for me. Jay can speak for me, too. We can't wait. Talking about this match. Yeah, you already mentioned it. The New Day are no longer your tag team champions. But I actually really enjoyed this. I thought it was a good opener. I felt like both tag team delivered this match with a sense of urgency because the way it started out was Cesaro and Sheamus just coming out swinging. A lot of early tag team offense that showed Cesaro and Sheamus taking the lead. There was a good false finish in there too. Woods caught Cesaro with a kick on the apron, and Big E delivered his big ending, and that got the crowd popping. And the poetic ending that we saw was Cesaro intentionally evading the tag to give him the chance to take the hit from Kofi and allowing Sheamus to roll up Kofi for the victory. I thought that was really poetic. I really enjoyed that element of storytelling and thought it really played into the fast pace that this match had.
Okay, here's the thing. I'll bring myself back down to earth now. This, honestly, people, was my only and match of the night for me. Holy shit. Here's the thing. You guys know my grievances with the New Day. However, but I will, here's the thing. Criticize when necessary, but give credit is due. Shout out to you, Jay. But I'm going to give it to all four of these men, especially for a match that we've seen multiple fucking times. They actually put out some. I love the fact that they pulled out stuff that we haven't seen in a while, especially when they turn up in a match. Because I honestly think that was the reason why this match is good. Because When was the last time? I believe this is the first time that someone kicked out of the big ending from Big E since that finish has been. And also, I think we haven't seen Kofi utilize the SOS in a while, have we?
I think he has, but they've not used it the same way they used it tonight.
But yeah, but definitely like everything that led up to leading up to the finish, and I'll say this. The emotion that New Day showed in the match definitely helped play into the drama. Like, I like it when the wrestler or character shows emotion to something that they value so much. So, yeah, I'll say this is match of the night for me. And then we fucking went downhill from there. But that's around the point.
You want to do the synopsis, Jay, or would you rather me do it?
Next up, we have Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman, and Sami Zayn defeated Braun Strowman by lasting the 10-minute time limit.
See, yep. Then we can't afford sound effects, so let's just make them ourselves. That's the issue I had with this match. It was a 10-minute time limit match, and the confusion I had going into it, and I'm sure other people might have as well, is that we weren't sure whether Sami Zayn winning meant he had to pin Braun Strowman or just last 10 minutes in the ring with Braun Strowman. And so from the first 5 minutes, it was a basic slaughter. Strowman threw Zayn all around the ring. And then Foley comes out, as you had expected. And he's holding a giant, comically sized white towel to metaphorically throw the towel for Sami Zayn. And he begs him off. Yeah, no, it's not Rocky. He's trying to throw the towel in for Zayn, and Zayn's begging off. He's grabbing him at the waist, showing emotion, and Zayn says, "Please, I don't want it to end that way." And then Strowman then continues to throw Zayn around the ring. Strowman goes to the barricade, and the match ends with Sami Zayn delivering a haluva kick in the corner at about 3 seconds. Here's the issue I had with that. Okay, we'll accept the fact that Zayn only had the last 10 minutes, but ending the match with Zayn delivering his finisher, Strowman selling his finisher, and then walking over to the opposite corner. At what point was Strowman going to attack Sami Zayn? Like, is the bell a barrier? Like, did Sami Zayn quietly mutter Strowman no swiping 3 times after the bell rang? Wouldn't you at that point be pissed off that you just got upstaged because you just lost? It wasn't a definitive loss. It wasn't a burial by any means, but you just lost a match, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, shucks. Can't go attack him.
Well, I mean, we finally actually got the time limit on match tonight on Raw, and we saw this go weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, and for some reason, I just cannot get behind this match. And I heard a lot of people say that, well, it made Sami Zayn look like the ultimate babyface, and I'm like, how? That's a question I need. That's an answer I need. I need to know why.
See, here's the thing. Going into this match, as far as the match goes, nothing was really going to sell me on it. Nothing you could have put there, and I understand you were supposed to buy.
I don't think you were supposed to buy that aspect of, like, if you actually thought this was going to be a good match, you are a fucking moron. I'm sorry, but
and of course, but I understand that they would have tried to sell this Dave versus Goliath mantra, and that's fine. And the part that got me was Mick making Sami Zayn look strong, going as far as to say, we're going to trade you for Eva Marie. That's WWE tapping into their known jokes. They're tapping into their universe. They're showing their awareness, and they're using that to piss Sami Zayn off. And that was fine. But then you have this match ending where, there's no... Strowman didn't look strong in the end. I mean, it doesn't really defeat Strowman. Strowman can still continue, but I don't think it did anything for Zayn either. You just had Zayn win, and Strowman... It makes Strowman look a little weak, at least incompetent enough to walk over and attack Zayn. I would be pissed off.
The thing about me is the fact that, again, much like you, Dalton, they didn't really clarify what was gonna who was going to win. What does Sami Zayn get? A participation trophy for lasting 10 minutes against Care Bear? I seriously don't know what this does for either man. But a match that we've seen on Raw, we got again tonight on Raw, and let's just move the fuck on.
Okay, next up we have Seth Rollins versus Chris Jericho in a singles match, and Seth Rollins walks away with the victory.
Yeah, Seth Rollins walked away with the victory a couple weeks ago on Raw, and then on another Raw, and then tonight on Monday Night Raw. Like, he picked up the victory again.
See,
like,
when you said Monday Night Raw a few seconds ago when referring to Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman, I thought you like made a mistake, but it's very clear that I guess you look at this as an episode of Raw.
I don't know what you're. I don't know. You haven't been watching Raw, so how do you even know like what the heck's going on? You're probably tweeting about it. But yeah, yeah, it was just a match. I mean, honestly, like, what can you really say? I mean, at least Rollins went over. I mean, all of us thought we expected that, but it was a match. I'm sorry, but that's all it is. It was a good match, but it really wasn't anything to write home about.
And I kind of have to echo the same sentiments, Cass. In my notes, I really only wrote that we could have seen this on any given Monday night at around 9 o'clock, because that seems to be where they put this segment. Tonight. Yeah, and the thing is, like, while I could kind of argue that maybe we haven't seen quite the same matches from the other competitors, this was literally by the numbers. It could have been a main event of Monday Night Raw, and that's very much what I got from this. And the other issue I had with this match is that going into it, the commentators were saying, well, Rollins for beating up Chris Jericho puts him that much closer to Kevin Owens, which puts him that much closer to Triple H. And I'm like, when did this become some kind of like Mortal Kombat conquest, like one by one? Like that jump is a really big jump to make. I don't see how winning over Chris Jericho or Kevin Owens for that matter really puts you in any closer contention against fighting Triple H, because, you know, Kevin Owens didn't mention the fact that he was Triple H's chosen competitor in the first place. He's made no mention of that, so I don't see how beating him nor Chris Jericho would have done anything for Rollins. So
this match dropped the ball.
Yeah, this match could have been something better.
Mm-hmm.
If it was Kevin Owens, it also could have been something better. But they didn't play up that aspect, and that's why this match felt like a regular Monday Night Raw match. There was good sequences, it was good in the ring, but nothing really to write home about.
Not to mention leading into this pay-per-view match. I mean, like, the bill for this match was pretty much just Seth Rollins attacking Chris Jericho. That was it. Honestly, this feud has just been so intertwined between the main event scene and the mid-card scene. You just got too confused. So it was just like, again, a match that I could have saw at a house show. Move on.
Right, next up we have a triple threat match for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. The champion going into the match was Rich Swann. The competitors, or his opponents, were TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick. And coming out of the match, Rich Swann retains his title.
This match was fucking terrible. This match was dreadful to watch. I'm sorry. This is the epitome of WWE fucking dropping the ball on the Cruiserweight division. Now, real quick, if you can't even get the damn Cruiserweights over, then what the hell makes you think that you can put together a UK tournament? But that's around the point. Another time for another day. This match was terrible. It did nothing. And honestly, like, that horrendous, like, botch that Swann, like, I know accidents is going to happen, but seriously, I was concerned about Brian Kendrick throughout this whole thing. And they didn't even give them a lot of time to, like, really sink their teeth in. Like, I think this match only lasted, like, a good 7 to 8 minutes. Swann retains. Black excellence. Hashtag black excellence. Hashtag black power. Move the fuck on. Dalton, go.
By your review of the match, this doesn't sound like excellence, so I don't know if the hashtag would fit here.
Swann retain. That's all that matters.
Well, okay, Cass. So I got to admit, missed probably about half of this match because, well, I mean, what I saw, nothing really to write home about, but I took this match as my my bathroom break at home, so I did know better than the fans that were actually in attendance. But I did notice, it should tell you how good the match was when I was more focused on Austin Aries' commentary, because he was brought out to commentate this match.
That was cool.
And he's good. I really enjoy Austin Aries' commentary. I'm not familiar with his other work, but as far as I'm on commentary, I have to believe they're using him to some future match whenever he recovers from his injury. And I'm certainly happy with where they're using him right now. As far as this match goes, nothing to write home about. And it's a shame. It's a real big shame, because having gone to an NXT house show now, I've seen a few of these cruiserweights in action, and they've got it in the ring. Hold up, Cass. Aren't you a little bit mad? I've been to an NXT house show. I got to see tag team wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I'm going. That's what I'm going about. But here's the thing. Let me clarify for everybody listening to this fine podcast. The Cruiserweight division tonight on Raw has now become the bathroom break what the Divas division used to be. And it's fucking sad.
Yeah, and evidenced by the fact that that's where I was for the first half of this match. That's what happened. But here's the funny thing. After the match was over, we got something good.
Yes.
So the man who gravity constantly seems to overlook, I think that's what they say about him, Neville came out, and he came to what seemed to be congratulate Rich Swann on his victory, and he was clapping for him in the center of the ring, and then rather than shake his hand or give him a hug, he kicked him in the stomach. He then proceeded to beat up Swann and TJP on the outside and just kind of passed over Ryan Kendrick. Not sure if that was intentional or because Kendrick was actually hurt. But Neville made an impact, beating up both TJP and Swann, and it seems to be that Neville is now officially in the Cruiserweight division and aiming for Rich Swann's title.
Thank God! Once again, the only relevant person that'll be in the Cruiserweight division. He made his debut tonight on Raw in the division in fucking Neville. Finally, WWE, you will put somebody in the Cruiserweight that the people will actually give a damn about. I want you to go back tonight and Raw of how the crowd reacted to his quote-unquote heel turn. They're not fucking idiots. We can see through your bullshit. We can see through your bullshit. Finally, you add Neville. And honestly, he should have been the first Cruiserweight champion, in my opinion. Well, at least on Raw for that matter. But thank God. And honestly, this is the most relevant Neville has been since he has been on the main roster. He looked like a star in the first 5 minutes he showed up tonight that he has had since he's been on the main roster, and even during his damn NXT Championship run. Count that.
So would you say this is a step in the right direction for the Cruiserweight division?
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, I would say so too.
Based off, I'm wondering, is it anything specific about Neville that makes you guys think that, or just this is an indication that WWE is getting their shit together with the Cruiserweight division? Because there were moments previously where it looked as if, based off of how they were positioning certain people in the division and with the Cruiserweight Classic, that, okay, well, this thing may have a bit of promise, but once you get outside of the initial hype and whatever it is that's created in one moment, it falls off to the wayside, and then we return back to normal, which is, I guess, shittiness. So is there anything that you saw from this that'll make you guys believe that this wasn't just one awesome moment and that it'll actually carry through with the division?
The fact that they finally have somebody that people are very, very familiar with, other than having the rest of these vanilla midgets and black vanilla midgets running around. Like, seriously, all you gotta do is just put someone who has enough name recognition and enough credibility in that division. Then all it takes is just having that one person, that familiar face, against a newcomer. Bam! Instant match, instant feud for the championship, or a secondary feud for a are saying debut for this division, but we all know WWE is gonna fuck it up anyway.
Yeah, is this the first guy from WWE's like regular roster that's been placed into the cruiserweight?
I think it is.
Well, I guess I could see there why this is different than the other situation, because I guess everybody else was like brought into the company specifically for the cruiserweights. Now you have a guy who's a part of the regular roster who's being, injected into there. Okay.
Yeah, I certainly hope this isn't a situation where they just felt like they had nobody else to work with that was new, so they had to use Neville, because he looked a bit different too. I mean, he still had his same physique, but he had his facial hair all grown out, and he looked very pissed off, and I know that was, done intentionally. So, when you see the cape, you expect high-flying action, you expect some kind of hero, per se. And the fact that Neville turned that on its head, flippy shit. The fact that Neville turned that on its head and actually looked really strong here was impressive. And so I don't think Neville necessarily is going to like revolutionize anything, but it certainly is a step in the right direction because, as Cass said, and as we agreed, it's somebody we're already familiar with and somebody that at least a good majority of the infield is criminally underused.
Okay. I guess killing two birds with one stone, helping Neville out, helping the cruiserweight division out at the same time. All right, I got it. I see it. I'm tracking.
Right.
Next up, we have the Raw Women's Championship match: Charlotte versus Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks was the champion going into this contest, but in a 3-2 breakdown of the falls in the match, Charlotte comes out on the better end after this match went into overtime. So now Charlotte is once again the Raw Women's Champion.
This match was a fucking waste of time.
I disagree.
Go ahead.
So
I'll let you go first.
Thank you, Cass. You're so polite. So I don't feel like this was a waste of time. I understand, before we even break down what the match was about, I understand everyone's criticism, or at least most people's criticism, that we've seen this match too many times. I understand. But at the same time, Sasha and Charlotte have great chemistry in the ring, and I felt like while this match took quite a while to deliver, I'm talking like 15, 20 minutes to really get me into it, by the time we reached overtime, I believe we reached a fitting end to this feud. And whether the fact that the commentators had to tell us that was the end, or we organically reached that decision ourselves, the fact that you saw Sasha Banks with a nosebleed, which I'm sure was accidental, the fact that you saw her bleeding, reaching for the ropes, doing everything she possibly can to get out of that submission, says definitively Charlotte is the winner. And I understand. The complaint is that, Charlotte's now, I think it's a 6-time women's champion, and Sasha...
have mercy.
Yeah, 6 times, and she's only been on the main roster for a year and change. Is that right?
Well, all of those 6 weren't on the main
roster. No, but still, it's quite a lot of times to come up in a single year.
Shit, you don't even have to count all of them. Just count the ones that she has won on the main roster, and it's still like
golden children rule. All these guys say golden children rule.
Here's the thing. While I think in totality, one of the other matches, the no disqualification match on Raw or the Hell in a Cell match, might have been a better end, this was still a concrete ending. There was no... Because Sasha tapped out. It's very hard to refute a tap out, and in this instance, the fact Sasha was bleeding, like I said, I'm sure that was unintentional. It added to that injury and really showed me that Charlotte is what she says she is. She's top dog. She is the woman, and I'm certainly glad we got this match. But that being said, I'm so hoping we are moving on.
Yeah, because I watched like bits and pieces of it, and I heard them put emphasis on the fact that there was no rematch clause after that. But I would just like to go ahead and say that I did bring this up, and I tried to do it when y'all were throwing darts, and I was like, what the hell is that name? Rick, like dodging those fucking arrows. It didn't work out too well for him, but it worked out well for me. I think I was dodging those arrows that you guys were shooting at me, and I kept saying that there's going to come to a point where this reaches its natural conclusion. And Dalton, I guess You saw that tonight. It reached its natural conclusion, but I'm guessing that Cass thinks otherwise, though.
Oh no. Oh, definitely no. Again, this match was a complete waste of time. This is easily one of the worst feuds of the year.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
That's
this
bullshit.
is easily one of the worst feuds of the year. This feud makes no goddamn sense. This feud should have ended Hell in a Cell, but WWE has to be complete idiots about it, and then all of a sudden they just gotta have 2 more matches because they're going way too far with this women's equality crap. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Like seriously, enough of it. We get it. And let me just clarify this right now. Charlotte and Sasha Banks, 2 phenomenal women's workers. No doubt about it. I will never take that away from these women. But honestly, I was fatigued from this feud after Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell was done for me. I still have not watched Falls anywhere match they had. I still haven't watched the match where I still haven't watched the match from when Sasha won it the second time. I am so fatigued from this feud, and I'm actually fine that it was ended because, like, seriously, this feud has just made no sense. And get this, OTR is Central made this clear, and I completely agree with it, and it's ridiculous. This feud was going on since WrestleMania time, and now it's December, and they've been going at it. Again, I'm sorry. These women can put on phenomenal matches all they want, but again, and Jay, you told me this last week. You said that you feel if these matches, the way Sasha Banks set the bar, you feel it's going to help the entire women's division in its entirety. Is that correct?
Yep.
Like, not just no, because here's the thing. I feel as if it doesn't work in this sense because we were in the same exact situation just a good, 10, 11 years ago with Trish Stratus and Lita, and look how the SmackDown women's division fared at that time, and that was complete BS, even though I love my SmackDown 03 and 04, but seriously, if the narrative on Raw has not changed, that Sasha Banks and Charlotte are the only 2 people that matter in that division, then honestly, all this for me is for naught. All this isn't going to be that day because, again, all they're going to do is make focus on the one division that they have on Monday Night Raw. And honestly, Sasha Banks should have completely went over in this sense. That was fucking BS. And here's the thing, people, I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. You always bitch and moan about Roman Reigns just ask me to shove down your throats. But yeah, I don't hear a lot of y'all's asses on Twitter going off about Charlotte 9 out of 10 times. And also, one more thing about this whole thing. Charlotte is already a 4 fucking time women's champion. And for some reason, people are okay with this, and I can see why. It's okay. I can see why. But again, this match, for me, was nothing. They went out there. They did their thing. Hell in a Cell was it for me. That should have been the feud ender. Thank God this fucking feud is going to end. But what sucks about this is Sasha Banks is probably going to be switching with Bayley in terms of importance. Because watch her get fucking squashed by Nia Jax sooner or later. Thank you. Good night.
Wait, hold on, Cass. I got to ask you a question. That didn't make any sense. How could such a switching importance, as you said, with Bayley, like them switching spots, how is that a bad thing when you just complained that the only 2 women that were getting attention are Charlotte and Sasha?
Because how lost in the shuffle has Bayley been since she's been on the main roster?
No, yes, I agree. She's been lost in the shuffle, but how is now a possibility that another one can step up and get in the limelight a negative outcome from this feud?
Because watch all these people bitch and moan on how Sasha Banks is not going to be in the title picture anymore.
Good. She needs some time off. Like she damn near breaks her neck every single match when she does a dive.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. So, just people bitch and moan now. She's gonna be put in the irrelevant section on Monday Night Raw and not fit into the importance. I'm just saying.
Well, maybe she can carry some of the importance that was generated by this feud with her and Charlotte to elsewhere
Oh my God!
on
I
the roster
honestly,
in the division.
I seriously do not see. What do you guys think about how this feud has been? I seriously don't see
Okay,
it.
could you answer this question for me? Have Charlotte and Sasha Banks been solidified as bona fide superstars based off of what's happened with this feud? Has their importance in the grand thing WWE increased? I think whether you like this feud or not, there is not a person on this damn planet that could deny that. Because they are much bigger superstars now than they were before, the 6 matches that they've had against each other for the Women's Championship. And it is up to WWE to continue that overness that has been generated for them
Exactly.
going into feuds that they have coming up. And whether WWE does that
And
or
you have
not,
faith in them?
here's the thing, whether they do that or not does not change the fact that a platform has been created, a foundation has been laid for them to take advantage of it. So the creation of that foundation is different. WWE capitalizing off of it. One of those things can be true and they can completely fuck it up. But them fucking it up does not mean that it wasn't created and that overness wasn't generated by this feud between those two.
Like I said, I told you, I was fucking done with this whole thing after Hell in a Cell because that's the way it should have been. But WWE likes to fuck logic, so yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay, so are we done with Sasha Banks and Charlotte? Well, Cass is already
Please.
Okay,
Jesus, yeah.
the final match for Roadblock, End of the Line. We reached the end of the line here with Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns. This was a singles match for the Universal Championship, but hey, some people might look at it as a triple threat because they got a little bit of interference in the end, and that was actually the deciding factor into who walked away with the title. And even though Roman Reigns technically won the match via disqualification, it was Kevin Owens and his bestie, Chris Jericho, who were, I guess they were standing victorious momentarily because they got attacked, in a little
and nobody gets over.
Sure, certainly not, Cass, but how is this 50-50 booking? This is exactly what you would have expected.
50-50 booking. Owens keeps the title. He gets his fucking fat ass kicked at the end of the show, along with Bon Jovi and WWE. I'm telling you this. Stop with the damn, 2/3 of the Shield reunion. It don't work. It seriously does not work. If Dean Ambrose isn't there, it does not work. So just stop. But I did see it, and I did not watch this match before, so I'm not going to tell you what I thought of it overall. I did hear what happened in the end, but don't go ahead and give your thoughts.
Before I do that, I just want to mention that, fundamentally, there's an issue with both, I think, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins' characters right now. So even if Ambrose was there, I doubt that this whole Shield reunion bit would have any authenticity because they don't play it up anywhere except for when they're trying to deliver an impactful move to an opponent. They do it for pops. Beyond that, you don't see it on screen. So I don't see how the Shield reunion really holds any water other than to accomplish a double powerbomb. But that aside, I thought the match was decent. Certainly not a match I would want to have ending a pay-per-view that's supposed to be your last one of the year, especially for your flagship show. Much like the Seth Rollins-Chris Jericho match, this was something I could have seen on Monday Night Raw, including the fuck finish with Chris Jericho. That could have been seen on Monday Night Raw any Monday evening. So Chris Jericho runs in after a decent match with table spots. He goes to fake an attack on Roman Reigns, and then turns around and gives Kevin Owens a code breaker. And everyone's supposed to be upset that, oh no, they really put the nail in the coffin on Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho's relationship. It's over. Let's all cry about it. When in reality, Chris Jericho intentionally DQ'd Kevin Owens to retain his title. So it begs the question, is Kevin Owens, if they're still together, because they have to make this run, they have to keep leading this on until WrestleMania. They have to put in an extra few months. So, I mean, I won't say it's great, it's interesting enough, but you have to wonder, what does Kevin Owens have to do about the criticism that Chris Jericho only gets involved to save his ass? Because here you have another match where the guys was that he was doing it to piss Kevin Owens off and ended up being for his benefit. And yet it's another match that Kevin Owens didn't win definitively over Roman Reigns, who has the criticism that he's protected.
And speaking of that whole ending of the match where Chris Jericho attacked Kevin Owens, that's honestly something that I look at and I wonder, why doesn't that happen more often? Because if I take my mind and infiltrate the world of pro wrestling, if I take my mind and infiltrate the world of pro wrestling and I have a partner, I'm like, well, shit, that's like the easiest scenario. I'm not going to try to distract his opponent. I'm not going to try any of that other bullshit. I'm just going to attack him. And then, he wins. So, yeah, I've wondered why that doesn't happen more often. But, we got it here.
Shout out to Tony. And by the way, shout out to Tony. This final match of the year was awful. I completely agree. That's the fourth thing we have agreed on.
You are just complete. I'm trying to sell a damn fight between you two, and all this agreement. You're just. Where's the kayfabe?
Let me tell you this though. I haven't forgotten. You call me out. Just you wait. I'll just go into that. Just you wait.
What was it that you said on Thursday? Shit, I forgot what you said.
Oh yeah, she's the firecracker. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna be the rain that puts out that firecracker.
Oh my gosh.
Basically, I was like, yeah, Tony, you better watch out for her. She's a firecracker. He's like, yeah, I'm the rain that'll put the fire out. And he said it. He didn't even waste a fucking millisecond. Like right after, but that was good though. I like that, Cass. So yeah, thank you for reigniting. Speaking of fires, reigniting that fire. We got to keep that.
It's gonna be so entertaining.
Tension building.
I'm gonna get popcorn. Well, no, I don't eat popcorn. I'll get caramel corn or kettle corn. Fuck popcorn.
Yeah, hey, didn't Mick Foley make an announcement for Raw tomorrow night? Well, actually, he already made an announcement on Monday Night Raw, so we're gonna get another Raw tomorrow night. He announced a fatal four-way for the Universal Championship. Owens versus Jericho versus Reigns versus Rollins. Why the fuck was this not the main event of Monday Night Raw tonight to begin with?
Just love that you just are holding up this Monday Night Raw thing. Like you're doing it so well, I forget we actually just watched a pay-per-view.
This was a pay-per-view?
Some of us paid money for it. Others might have obtained it by other means.
Like the WWE Network.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, people, just remember, they got your fucking $10.
Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Overall thoughts on the pay-per-view or Sunday Night Raw?
Bad. Terrible. Fucking waste of time. And get this. I'm about to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson. Do you realize that every single match that we saw has pretty much been going on since October in the last 3 months? Every single match on Raw has either been happening in some way, shape, form, or fashion. This show is a complete fucking waste of time. I didn't even watch the main event. Match of the night was the tag team title match. Finally, to see the fucking New Day drop it, even though black excellence to Rich Swann, thank goodness. But please, if you're telling me that this was the last pay-per-view of the year, and you're going to go out on this note, I have no high hopes in 2017.
Well, I mean, you might not for Raw, but here's the thing. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say it was as bullshit as you make it out to sound, Cass. It certainly was not great. Like, if I gave it a number, it'd be like a 5 or 6 out of 10.
I got negative 10. That's it. No. I don't even give it a negative 10. Give it a negative 20.
Okay. I mean, that's a bigger number. Anyway, I don't think it was as bad as it's about to be. There were some good matches, but like main event and Seth Rollins and Jericho were matches we easily could have seen on Monday Night Raw, including their finishes, including their fuckery finishes. So nothing really to write home about. I agree with Cass. The match of the night was the tag team match. It was the only one that really had me on the edge of my seat, and the only one that really seemed like it mattered, even from commentary's perspective. So. Not a good ending note for WWE, certainly not Team Raw, and I'm looking forward to whatever else SmackDown has in store for 2017.
I'm still nervous for them.
You know what? I'll save it. We got a lot of time. Okay, as far as this show, though, we are out of time. I would like to thank you all for tuning in and in the chat. For those of you who are watching the show or listening to the show live, I just posted in the chat the link to the Dubbies pre-nominations. Go ahead and please let us know your suggestions for the year-end awards for PWF Empire. We will be closing up the pre-nominations within the next few days, and I'll be finalizing everything, and we'll be presenting you with the actual nominations. But if there is something that you want to sure is it is noticed and appreciated, please click that link, pwfempire.com/Dubbies, that's Dubbys, and let us know if because looking through the pre-nomination so far, they're following a certain trend. I'm seeing a lot of the same things over and over again, and it's very clear that those things are going to be nominated. But the reasons why we do this is because we want to make sure we aren't forgetting something. If like, oh shit, well yeah, they reminded me of this match that happened at so-and-so time, and how could I have forgotten about that one? But we're all humans, and only so much can be contained up here. I just learned all of the words.
Say that again.
I just learned all of the words to Bruno Mars this album, so yeah, some matches from this year I had to push it out because my brain is at capacity now. Anytime I learn some new shit, something else got to get it's pushed out. So yeah, let us know your suggestions, and we'll see you on the other side. So then, thank you for tuning in, and peace out.
Later days.